Find a comfortable place in your body, in your chair. Close your eyes if it feels right to you. As we begin taking some deep breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. As we breathe in, calm and peace, and we breathe out tension and stress. Just become present of that breath coming in and going out. As we relax our bodies, we relax our minds. We become fully present here in this sacred space of meditation. Bring that attention to the rhythm of your breath. Breathing that beautiful God breath in and out, releasing anything that no longer serves. Becoming fully present here. Shift your focus inward now, and I invite you to that space within your own being. Visualize a warm, gentle, glowing light at the center of your being. This light represents your inner calm and serenity. And with each breath that you take, this light grows stronger and brighter as your body fills with more light and your breath continues to breathe you into the stillness. Feeling that peace. Remember, serenity is not about escaping life, but it's about embracing this present moment with grace and with clarity. So let's let that sense of peace flow in and out through us. As we begin to picture a place that we like to go in our minds when we want to feel peace. Some of you like to go to a lake or to the beach or to the forest and be with the trees. See in your mind's eye, you're at this beautiful place that brings you such rest. You're surrounded by serenity and beauty and stillness all around you. Notice the details, the colors, the sounds, the sensations. Let this environment fill your senses as we visit this place for a few moments in the silence. I'm going to give you an affirmation to carry with you the rest of this day. I am at peace with myself and the world around me. In this moment, I am calm, centered, and serene. Feel the truth in these words as they penetrate through into your heart. Allow this affirmation to deepen your sense of tranquility. Breathing in and breathing out the calm that we are, the peace that we came here to be. we bring this feeling into the rest of our day, knowing that we can return to this place any moment that we choose to feel that which we came here to be. And so I invite you to return back into the space with your fingers and your toes and become fully present. And whenever you're ready, just open your beautiful eyes. Welcome back. So, I love how these talk titles cause me to practice what I preach and what I teach, because this week has been particularly challenging, as Monday morning, repairman basically moved into my house. The drywall guy is doing ceilings in my house. I've had damage in bathrooms since Ian. And so now that all the other outdoor stuff is done, it's time to do the inside. And so my whole house is covered with paper, all the floors, and plastic everywhere. Everywhere. Every surface, everything is covered in plastic. And my two cats, they're like freaking out. You know how the AC blows? When the AC turns on, the plastic goes whoosh, and they're like, they can't relax, you know. This has been going on since Monday. I was telling someone here in the community room a little bit earlier that I had to ask Rodrigo if he could go home at 9 o'clock last night because I needed to get ready to go to bed because I get up at the crack of dawn on Sundays. He's like, 30 more minutes, miss, just 30 more minutes. And I'm like, okay, but I mean, as soon as he was gone, the garage door was shut, the lights were out, and I was in my jammies. It's just interesting how when you don't have control of your space, and you ladies will understand this, when there's plastic all over your mirrors, you can't see your face to do your makeup, and you can't even see the back of your hair. You can't, you know, it's just like weird. And so I've been out of my element. I'm a Virgo, you know, today's my birthday, and I'm a Virgo, and we like things to be kind of, so, whoosh, finding the place. Finding the opportunities when there's someone in the house all the time that you're used to being by yourself. It's really, really interesting. So this is our last week of our theme, which is to let go and let God. And so that has worked very well for me. Let's say this affirmation together one more time. I let go and let God guide me to my good. And so I've been practicing all of that all week long. I read a story, Alan Cohen, he's the Course in Miracles guy. I just love his work. And he has a book, it's called Looking in for Number One, Adventures in Uncommon Sense. It's a great book. And he was telling a story in there about how he found himself feeling tense and walking through an airport. You know, he lives in Hawaii, so I'm guessing it's in Hawaii. And there's construction going on, and there's, you know, wood, and all these things are out of place. Everything's messy, and he's walking through that, and he's going, you know, everybody has to see this. This is awful. And then all of a sudden, he comes upon an artist's rendition of the completed airport when it's done. And it's magnificent. And all of a sudden, he changes his mind, right? He relaxes, and he realizes that this is a temporary thing. And so that's what I'm telling myself. You know, in another day or two, this is going to look magnificent. We can put up with that, right? Because we know it's short term. So now he's like looking forward to the rest of the construction. He said, the universe is always in a construction phase, never totally complete as it is, but always perfect in process as we are, right? Aren't we all progressing, making progress? So we can appreciate the magic in process, he says. So that's what I'm seeing in my house. I'm seeing the beautiful process that is unfolding. Martha Smock, in her book, Turning Points, says the most difficult thing for people to do is to relax. She said they must keep a tight hold on everything, trying to control everything. They're continually busy going from task to task to prove their worth and their ability. But she said there is a way to relax in the midst of all of this, a way to go at life that makes it easy and with a happy spirit, so that we don't become a bundle of nerves and pent up tensions. So, you know, these days when you are feeling so connected with spirit, things are flowing in your life, things are going great, you're recognizing synchronicities. You know, when you're in that Zen kind of living, that's what we're striving to have more of in our life. And the reason that we have those days is because that's when we're connected. That's when we're aware of the presence and the power of God in us, that we are not these victims and weaklings. We are magnificent, powerful beings here to express all of that God consciousness through us as possible. So we don't let the things of the outer affect what we know to be the truth in us. When we're in alignment, everything goes easily because we're letting God do God's work through us. You see, that's the difference. And this is the deal, folks. You can't force that. There's no way that you can make that happen. You can't force yourself to relax. This is about letting go. It's about surrender. And that doesn't mean you're weak when you let go. It means you're strong. You're strong in your faith because you know you don't have to do it by yourself. You can do that by thinking about God and not thinking about the problem. You can think things like, God is, I am. You can think God is all there is when things are coming up in your face that you don't like. You can turn it around in a heartbeat. You can change the way things are unfolding. Emmett Fox talked about that in The Golden Key. He says it's the way out of any difficulty that you may be experiencing. It's scientific prayer in action, and it works because God is doing its work through you. You are essentially a channel for this. You are channeling this divine through you, and that takes action. It's really quite simple. You quit thinking about the problem and you just think about God. In that moment, you take your power back. So, you know, this whole year we're studying the 100 Years of the Daily Word because it started in 1924. And I have one today for you that's October 1st, 1938. And this is the affirmation. The life of God permeates my body. His tranquil spirit invests my mind, and I relax and let go. It says, when we have responsibilities, it is well to begin our day in a spirit of relaxation. Nothing will so help us to relax as the realization that God is with us and will be guiding us in all that we say and do, arranging our affairs in perfect order. Relax and know that the life of God is infusing you with the energy necessary to the tasks that lie ahead of you. Teach every part, every muscle of your body to relax and let go. Let every tissue, every nerve, every cell of your body relax and be receptive to the inflowing of life. In silent communion with God, there is relaxation for your mind as well as your body. Let all thought of responsibilities drop away. Open your mind to the inflow of Spirit. Then nothing will have the power to make you tense, for you will be relaxed in the assurance that God is taking care of your affairs. Now, the scripture from that particular one on October 1st, 1938, is from Jeremiah 47:6. And it says, rest and be still. Well, you know, I told you that my New Revised Standard Version always has it just a little bit different. And my Bible, that I read most of the time, says, how long will it be before you're quiet? Yeah. It's really wonderful not to be on all the time. You have to give yourself the gift of turning off the devices and going into the stillness, because you have to remember you can't get direction if you're not quiet. You can't hear Spirit if you don't do your spiritual practices and be still and listen. We have to go to the secret place of the Most High that lives in us, as us, and through us. And only we can do it. We have to choose it. God in you is waiting for you to be in the stillness, just waiting for you to ask that which you would like to see happen in your lives. So I just think it's interesting. I was reading that Isaac in the Bible is metaphysically the term for serene. You see, Isaac was like a miracle baby. Remember, Sarah was past the years of being able to have children, but she had Isaac. She was able to birth a child that was born of Spirit. And you see, Isaac, he's leaping for joy. He's dancing. He's singing. Isaac, he doesn't have a lot of great accomplishments in the Bible, but he is the epitome of serenity. And I just love that. I love that we don't have to be so worried about everything, so caught up in the day-to-day busyness of our lives. It doesn't really matter if we get everything done on our to-do list, right? We want to be more like Isaac. We want to be leaping and singing and having joy in our lives. We get to choose it, no matter what is going on in our lives. But you know, a lot of us are in worry. We're in worry about tomorrow, perhaps. We may even feel anxiety about something that we think is coming in the future. None of us knows what tomorrow will bring, but it helps to remember who is there within us waiting to help us through whatever it is that is coming. We don't have to fret about tomorrow. We want to be present and connected in spirit and know the truth of who we are. So one of the things that my personal affirmations that I like is I go to meet my good. You know, like if you're facing a crucial conversation with someone, I go to meet my good. You expect good to unfold. You don't expect things to be bad. You choose how you're going to live your life, and you have that ability to make that choice. So I found this wonderful author, Victor Perichin, and he wrote a book, Daily Strength for Daily Needs. And Unity used his article about serenity at unity.org. And so I want to tell you, he has 8 suggestions. So I'm going to pop right through these because I'm looking at the time. Number 1, remember Jesus' promise, peace I leave you, my peace I give to you. That's from John in the Bible. The peace he leaves us with is the peace of experiencing and knowing God's presence in us, no matter what. Number 2, pay attention to what you're thinking. Now we know this. This is principle 3 in unity. What you think about, you bring about. So pay attention to what you're thinking, because your mind is like a garden and it produces whatever it is that you're thinking about. So abundant thoughts produce plentiful fruit, and meager thoughts produce poor fruit. So pay attention. We talked about this last week. Be certain that your focus is on faith and triumph and the good that you're going to bring forth, because that's what you want to focus on, not despair, defeat, worry, any of those other things. 3, use the power of music. Music uplifts people. At Baltimore St. Agnes Hospital, classical music was provided in an intensive care unit, and it produced the same effect as 10 milligrams of Valium. So when you listen to music that lifts your heart, it opens you up and it calms you. Other studies show that it reduces blood pressure, it affects your basal metabolism. It has a lot of impact on you. So use music to reduce your stress. Number 4, use laughter therapy. Go to funny movies. Get on Netflix and bring some comedies down and sit there and have one evening of just laughing with people. A cheerful heart is good medicine. It says in Proverbs, in the Bible. So humor is a direct antagonist to the 3 major negative emotions: anger, fear, and depression. So if you're laughing, you can't feel bad, right? You got to laugh more. So this purposefully taking time out to laugh, watch a television or a film, it really helps us look at our challenges from a little bit different perspective. Maybe we can laugh at some of the things that are going in our lives, right? Be a better attitude for it. Number 5, don't be a perfectionist. Everything doesn't have to be perfect all the time. How many of you are that way? Like, oh my God, it doesn't I know some of you. I know your stories. So remind yourself that you are human. You're 100% divine, but you're also 100% human, and you're going to make mistakes. That's kind of why you're here, to learn from your mistakes. So be okay with it, and if you make a mistake, forgive yourself and move on. It's okay. There's no police, there's no God up there going, there she goes again. So tone it down, any negative, harsh thoughts, because this is what it says in Isaiah. This is how God views you. You are precious in my sight and honored, and I love you. That's the truth of you, right? So number 6, live one day at a time. One day at a time. Live in the present. Many people are deprived of peace of mind because they're either having anxiety over what happened or they're having fear about the future. And then what? Then they can't enjoy the present moment. You have the power to eliminate anxiety and fear in your life anytime, any moment that you so choose by taking just one step. Today, we're only going to do this. Number 7, take care of your soul. Now that's where this spiritual practices come in, where you use your meditation and you use your affirmations and you do your prayer work every single day. You do these things. You don't do it just when you're having problems or trouble. You do it every single day. Tapping into faith produces spiritual and emotional benefits like you would not believe. And I know you all know this. Preaching to the choir here. Number 8, learn to take mini breaks. Mini breaks. Life doesn't have to be reduced to a movement from one appointment to the next, from one task to the next task, from dawn to dusk. Do. We're not here to be doing human doings. We're human beings. We're here to be the presence and the power of God. So that's our example is Jesus. You know, after a full day of ministering and preaching, what did he tell the disciples? Come apart for a while, right? Go and be still. He instructed the disciples, go off by yourselves and rest a while. That's what we need to do. So what are you going to do differently? You have 8 things now to add to your spiritual toolbox. Some of these you're already doing, I know. But each day brings opportunities to take action, to build resources, develop strategies for cultivating that serenity that our body and mind and spirit so would like to experience. So I suggest you start using more of these things from the list in your daily routine, and you watch for the benefits that you'll receive. All right, enough preaching, time for a joke. A Sunday school teacher is working with her little ones, and she's talking and telling them about, you know how powerful all those kings and queens are in the Bible? And they say, yeah, yeah. And she said, well, you know, there is a higher power than them. Who knows what that is? And little Johnny raises his hand. He says, aces. Not quite so right, Johnny. Not quite so right. Okay, so I'm ending today because it's my birthday and I choose it. Clover Virgo wrote this piece, and I'm just going to read it real quickly. The Aging Phenomena. A very perceptive individual once brought to my attention an interesting fact on the aging process. The passing of time is viewed quite differently to a young child than it is to an older person. The reason being that to a 7-year-old, 1 year is actually 1/7 of their whole lifetime. So birthdays and Christmas seem to take forever to come around. But at 20 years, the fraction lessens to 1/20, and so on. Until when you're 60, time just flies by, right? This is just one aspect of the aging process. Viewed in another context, Clover says, one is as old as one feels. At 25, one can act and sometimes look as old as 50. It all depends on how the mind processes the passing of the years. In my mind, I'm still 25 years old. But sometimes I think I can do some of the things I did back then, and the body doesn't necessarily react in the same way, unfortunately. However, I can still think I'm young, and I am always being told that I do not seem as old as the calendar says. That's a good thing. I once had the experience of meeting and conversing with a 90-year-old lady. She looked and acted like a 70-year-old. She was sprightly and active and concerned only with the business of living her life exactly as she desired, and with none of the discomforts that seemed to plague others at that age. So she wrote this poem a while back, and it sums up her ideas on this aging phenomena. And here it is. Birthdays are only milestones. On this beautiful journey in time, most people insist on counting them and despair as the numbers climb. But the trip can be really quite rewarding if you can grasp the lessons to be learned from taking all that life has to offer and giving back what you can in return. That's the way it is. Thank you. Thank you so much, Clover. I love that. It's great. So now is the time in our service when we get to give from our good back into this sweet community. Some of you are giving online, and you're mailing your checks, and you're using the Breeze link, and you're doing automatic giving, and all of those things are wonderful. Some of you use a QR code. However you give, we're grateful for that. So let's say our blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, that this is so.